So I'm very excited about our next guest today. Obviously, she has a story that I cannot wait to hear. Janmitra Waddell, she is the only Live Past Crazy specialist. She's also an author of multiple books, including being the best-selling author of Fearless Woman, Born to Give Thanks, and Transition to Freedom, among others. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you. Can I first say that you said my name perfect? So thank you so very much.
I'm glad, names are important because, I'm like, look, it's what people get to call me every day. It's part of my
Yes.
identity. So I, I
Yeah.
appreciate that. Um, so for people who aren't familiar with your business, tell us a little bit about who you are and where you were in your life when you first embarked on this journey.
So it began really 16 years ago. Um, I started on this journey. So I'm the only Live Past Crazy specialist. I tell people I know crazy. And I just don't want people to continue in the chaos if they don't have to.
Mm.
And I knew 16 years ago, I was looking for someone to give me steps. You know how people give you big ideas and concepts, but they don't say, hey, Jojo, today, just do this one thing. And that's what I needed. And so that's why I created Be Fearless Incorporated. It's just a space for you to do just the next right thing. Like we're going to give you the big picture, but we're also going to give you the step-by-step things to do.
And that's huge because people can get very excited when they think of the big picture, but then they go home after, feeling motivated and they're like, oh, wait, look, what am I supposed to do? So,
Yeah, I don't want to do this by myself.
right, it's like, I need some guidance. That's why I came looking
Yes.
for it. So for people who aren't familiar with the kind of crazy that you were having to deal
Yes.
with, give us a little bit about your story and how you got to this point.
So, my crazy was I am a survivor of domestic violence. My abuser was, and we all have a story to tell,
Mm.
but my abuser was the pastor of my church. And so I had the crazy life of people adoring this minister who had been a pastor for over 30 years. And them me having to uphold the image as a first lady, as a young woman, and living that life and dealing with crazy all at the same time. And then, when I chose to leave, I was still 500 miles away from my family, and I had two children. And so that was crazy. And like, how do you deal with that every day? And you decide, oh, I want to go back to school and get a master's degree. Oh, I want to get a PhD. Oh, I want to start a business. Like, what do those steps look like? And is it even worth to live past crazy?
And so, as you mentioned, everybody has a story, and I know, especially in the pandemic, a lot of things that people were struggling with have really been exacerbated. Like if you were
Yes.
unhappy at home, well, now you're stuck with this person at home. Or if you were already
Yes.
stressed with your kids, now you're trying to homeschool and do everything else. So, as people are probably looking for a resource just like yours, where do
Yes.
people find you? What's the best place for you to find them and for them to find you?
So of course, livepastcrazy.com. And I host the Fearless Morning Show weekdays on Facebook at 7:15. But over at livepastcrazy.com, we have a Live Past Crazy blueprint so that you can identify what your crazy and chaos is and figure out how you're gonna walk through it. Like you get to get your own personalized blueprint. Because I think that's what we essentially, like you said, in this pandemic, everybody's looking like, but I'm crazy right now. Like, what is going to work today? And
Right.
so that's one of the things that they'll find over there for them.
So, what does a typical day in the life sort of routine look like for you, trying to balance sort of home and business?
For me, I get up before everybody else. I think that is essential. Like if you're a parent, you do nothing alone
Hmm.
unless you wake up before children. Otherwise,
Yep.
it's going to be a group event. I don't want to brush my teeth with you. I want you to go sit down. Like I don't want to do everything with you. And I think we have to be okay with saying we need a break. So for me, I wake up in the mornings and I always have my meditation time. And I'm a firm believer that right there, when you first wake up and right before you fully get out the bed, that's when you're your truest self. And so that's
Mm.
when I listen to my meditation and I just allow all the positives to come because I'm a firm believer you give your breath and your words direction every morning. So I wake
Yes.
up and say, I'm going to do this today. And I speak everything in the affirmative. And so by the time the kids get up, I'm a better person now than I would have been had I not taken that. And so between homeschooling and we take breaks, we go to the park. Luckily, there's a park at the end of our street. So we go to the park, we eat a lot of ice cream. We sing a lot of songs. We do a lot of dancing. But then they know once the sign comes on, mommy's working, that everybody needs to go to their assigned places. So,
So you're really tapping on a couple of important things. First off,
mhm.
about being intentional about your day. Instead of sort of waking up, alarm goes off, and you just sort of frazzled and you just sort of jump into your day and checking your phone with no kind of sense of direction. You haven't sort of
Yes,
set your mind for the day. Like, no wonder your day ends up looking crazy because you started it crazy, you know?
yes, that's right.
And the other
That's
thing I
it.
loved is the buy-in from your family, that
Mhm.
people, that you have everyone on board saying, you know, this is my time, that I need to focus on
Yes,
this. But then you also
yes.
have really got that key of balancing that
Mhm.
time with your family, sort of, as you mentioned, going to the park. So it's really important that to understand that nobody operates their business in a bubble. Like,
No,
you're
oh
still
God,
mom and you're still this, you're still that. Like, so it's
yes.
important to
It
get that
never,
buy-in from
yeah,
your family.
it never ever goes away. Like they don't care. Like, Rosie, I'm about to go record a podcast. Can you be quiet? But wait a minute, I have a final. But no, Rosie, but I have to
Mhm.
go. And they don't, when they want to have a meltdown, that's when they want to have a meltdown. And so you got to find that happy balance.
No, it's very true. So as you sort of targeted this niche, and
Mhm.
tell us a little bit about who your ideal client is and sort of what have been the real highlights of this business journey so far.
Oh, the highlights have been absolutely amazing. I like to think of myself as a mindset mediator because whatever journey you begin, it's going to have to start with your mind. I don't care if your first time mother, it starts in your mind like, oh my God,
Mhm.
I'm in charge of a small human
Right.
forever. Like that's a mindset shift. And so to see people, finally get out of the mindset that and I think the process is we have to unlearn so many things. You have learned so many things the wrong way. That is the unlearning that is hard. And in the unlearning, that's where people decide either I want to deal with the comfort of crazy or the discipline of freedom.
Mm.
Either this is not bothering you enough to change, or it is bothering you enough to change. So my ideal client is that lady that says, you know what? I've done all I can do by myself. Maybe I need a little hand holding. Maybe I need to talk to someone who is not my family because, your family will just you to death and look to you.
Mhm.
Oh, it's just this, Jojo. Oh, you still have that little business? Oh, are you still
Right.
doing that little show? And you need to talk to people who have a moving language. I call it a moving language. We
Love that.
breathe differently, we talk differently. And it's okay to not want to struggle with those people anymore. It's okay to grow, and it's okay not to be normal to want to do that. And so my ideal client is the lady that says, you know what, I don't want to be normal.
Right.
I want to be different. I want to have a different kind of conversation. Please show me the next step of what that looks like.
And it's funny because even in the Bible, you know, where Jesus tried speaking, they were like, isn't that just Joseph's son? Yeah, sometimes you need to look outside that and be like, look, let me
Yes.
get in the lane with people who are
Yes.
also trying to do other things, who don't just see me as somebody's little sister or somebody's
Yes.
something. And, you know, right, your
Yes.
little business. But like, no, you're growing something. And you need to
Yes.
start
I'm
looking towards
growing.
people who are either in that place or like a few steps
Yes.
ahead who can really help
Yes.
guide you on that step. So
Yes.
then to that mindset, then what have been some of the either like support groups or resources or things that you turn to sort of during the ups and downs of trying to run a business?
For me, I'm a nerd, first of all, so I love to read. So I have every book that you can possibly think of. So if you're just starting and you're running your business and you're in corporate, you're trying to run a business, you have all the hats and you have
Mm,
all the things. Start with the book You're a Badass. That will help jumpstart your mind.
great book.
The second book would be You Squared. It talks about doing a quantum leap, meaning you got to do um, a revolutionary change. It can't be a small, like you got to jump all in. And then, of course, 10X by my man, Grant Cardone. And if I can't read, always know, like, and here's the thing, you're not always going to feel like doing it. Like, there's going to be some days you're like, you know what, I quit today. I don't want to participate in life, period. That's when I put on my meditations or I
Mm.
listen to somebody else's words other than my own who can help me change my mindset. But those are some of the things that have helped me, just along the journey to help me with my mindset first. Because when I found out that once my mindset had changed, all the other answers that I was seeking, they showed up out of nowhere. I was like, well, where were you last month? Well, you wasn't ready last month. I was like, well, you made me struggle for a whole month. And it
Right.
is truly our mindset.
So then, as you look ahead, what is the next step in your business journey, and how can people in the business community and other clients, how can they support you in that?
So the next step is I have a team abundance coaching program. I'm a firm believer that there's only two teams in this world: team abundance and team lack. Whether you intentionally or
Mm,
unintentionally choose a team, you chose one.
right.
And so I'm all about team abundance, where we are excellent, we are proficient, we will not quit. We're going to execute, we're going to play, and we're going to win. Because at the end of the day, what we forget is somebody has to win. Somebody has to win this, whether you are God's girl, somebody has to win that battle. You know,
Mm.
if you're going to heaven, somebody has got to do the work in order to get there. And it might as well be you. And so Team Abundance Coaching Program will be coming out in March of next year. So I'm excited about that. And then the Sister Rise Retreat I hosted this year in the middle of a pandemic. I can't believe, but I only sold it to 12 women, and it stands for Revitalizing Individual Sacred Energy. And it
Mm.
is for women who are, kind of depleted, and you need to be full of yourself again. Like, what does being full of myself look like? And so we did a lot of releasing and setting intention. So those two big things. And if anyone is interested, they can just pop over to livepastcrazy.com and get some more information.
And I know a lot of women, because from the people that I've spoken to, the experts that I've spoken to, women in particular,
Hmm.
having to take on all these extra responsibilities during the pandemic have been hit hard. And a lot of them are not
Yes.
seeking help. They're not looking
Hmm.
outside their family. They feel like they can't really complain because everyone's in the same boat.
Hmm.
Put on your oxygen mask first. Honestly, everything
Yes.
will fall apart if you don't.
Yes.
So, just
Yes.
one more time, all the places people can reach you on social or on websites, just so I can make sure that nobody misses you.
Okay. You can reach me at livepastcrazy.com and on all social media. I promise I'm the only young Nitra Jojo out there. There's nobody else out there with that name. So I promise you can find me. And then of course the Fearless Morning Show weekdays on Facebook at 7:15 in the mornings. And then the books are on Amazon.com.
All right, everyone, make sure you check her out, follow, subscribe, support. And if this is not your lane, but you see that one of your friends or your family members or someone you know is struggling, please direct them to her. We need more people like this in our
Yes.
lives. Thank you so much. It's been an absolute
Yes.
pleasure talking to you.
Thank you.
All right, take care.
Thank
Bye-bye.
you.